How can you stay on track with big goals? In this video, I'm going to show you how I stay on track and give you an example of marathon running. Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Mike. Really glad you could join me. Do sign up for the channel. It is free and you'll be notified of any upcoming videos as soon as they're released. So there is a saying, well begun is half done. But how do you go about achieving goals when times are tough? Well, if you've written out your goals, then you have begun well. What about the other half? That is achieving and completing your goals. How do you make sure you keep on doing what you're committed to doing once the going gets hard? What about when you're stuck? An unforeseen obstacle is in the way? What about when you just don't get started because the goal seems just too big? On this video on goals, I'm going to guide you through what to do to get you back on track. By writing out well-formatted goals, you've uncovered any obstacles before you start. This means that you can plan ahead. Now I do recommend you go and watch my video on how to write goals properly. Things do crop up that you just can't foresee happening. So it's important to have a plan to stay on track. One of the key things to keep in mind is, why are you attempting this goal? Why do you want it? This is where visualisation, affirmations, dream boards and all those new age devices really do help. It's because when your motivational juice is low, you can remind yourself why you started in the first place. If you can make a habit of visualising every day, pretty soon your dream will be at the forefront of your mind. I recommend checking out my book on the law of attraction. I'll leave a link in the description. And I do go into more detail. The more mind programming you can do, the more obsession and passion you can stock up. You can even print off and cut out pictures representing your goal. Then you can put them around the house to see and remind you. You'll be subliminally programming your mind. The other important thing to do is break down the goal into the smallest chunks, milestones, as much as you possibly can. I'm going to give you an example on running a marathon. The goal is to be able to run 26.2 miles in race conditions. If you're not a professional athlete and you're only used to running a couple of miles once or twice a week, it should take you about 16 weeks of focused training to be able to complete a marathon. You therefore need to plan out every training session that you're going to run. This will usually be about 5 runs per week for about 16 weeks, building up the distance each week. At the start of your training, you're pumped up. You're envisioning yourself passing the finishing line and collecting your medal to the sound of cheering crowds. You start your training fairly well, moving steadily up to 6-mile runs. When your first challenge arrives, the weather's cold, it's damp, you don't feel like going out today for a run. Surely missing one day won't matter. But wait, what about your plan? If you miss one day, that means you're going to be behind that week, which means you won't complete that week's training. That means you'll struggle on the next week's training, and so on. And this could seriously damage your chances of completing the marathon. However, your plan will be successful in motivating you. You decide to go for a run after all, rather than get behind in your training. The funny thing is this process also exercises your psychological muscles, just as it does your physical muscles. You'll then find you start becoming more disciplined in other areas of your life as a byproduct. To stay on track for large goals, break them down, keep your motivation high, and knock off those milestones. Thanks for watching. I hope you got value. Please subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.